When you live from I am, you do not see reality as who you are. Hello, beautiful soul. Welcome back to my channel. This is Priya, your manifestation coach. And in this video, I'm going to shine some light on why when you live from your I am presence, you no longer see reality as who you are. But first, if you would like to get coached by me, you can get access to any of my offerings by simply clicking the link below in the description box. Okay, let's get back to this video. When you live from I am, you no longer see reality as who you are. Now, the reason why I made this video is because there is a misconception in the manifestation community and the spiritual community that we see reality as who we are, that we see reality through the lens of our self-concept. And whilst, yes, this is true to a certain extent, it is not the ultimate truth. And here is why. When you begin to live from I am, which is presence, you're living from presence-based identity, you begin to see the truth of what is in front of you. You go beyond programs, right? Your self-concept is a program. The stories that you have about things are programs. When you're in a program, you see everything through the lens of that program. But when you are living from a place of presence, you're no longer in a program, which means you're actually seeing things not as who you are, but now you're just seeing the truth of what is in front of you. So that's when you start to see, oh yeah, this person is seeking validation, this person is manipulative, this person is a scammer, this person is performing, this person is wearing a mask, this person is lying, or this person is being manipulative. It's no longer, oh, I'm in a program and I'm seeing it through the lens of my self-concept. No. When you've reached a certain level of consciousness where you already have a high self-concept, but you're living from a place of presence, what you're seeing in front of you is the truth. It's no longer, oh, well, I'm perceiving reality as who I am through the lens of my self-concept. Remember, when you're perceiving reality through presence, you're no longer in a program. And this is where you begin to see the truth of what is in front of you. This is when you begin to see the bullshit. If there is bullshit in your reality, well, this is maybe when you begin to see the great things in front of you. But either way, it's actually truth that's in front of you in that moment. It's no longer, you're seeing reality through a lens, right? There is a certain level of consciousness where you go beyond that, where it's just truth in that moment. Now, to be clear, this does not mean that sometimes we actually see things through the lens of our self-concept. I'm just sharing that there's a level beyond this. So let's back up a second. Yes, it is true that sometimes we can be perceiving reality through the lens of our self-concept. So as an example, let's say you have a self-concept that says, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, something's wrong with me, right? And you haven't addressed that. So that's who you identify as. That means you're going to start perceiving everything in your reality through that lens. In other words, like through your wound, the wound of I'm not good enough, I'm not lovable. So for example, somebody could be kind to you, somebody could be being nice to you, but because you're in your wounds, you're seeing it as, oh my God, they're lying, they're being manipulative, I don't trust them, because you haven't addressed your self-concept to know your worth and value and that you are good enough exactly the way that you are. So at that point, yes, you are seeing life through the lens of who you are. In other words, or better said, who you identify as in that moment. You're seeing it through the lens of your self-concept. And there is also truth to that. And if you are somebody who doesn't have a solid self-concept, meaning you don't know your value and your worth from within, that is something that you absolutely do want to address first and foremost, because if you don't address that, reality will keep reflecting back to you your identity, right? It will keep manifesting in different ways, whether that's through your relationship with your lover, or the relationship with your parents, or the relationship with your friends. Like you cannot run away from your identity. If you have an identity that says, I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, reality will reflect that back to you. So you do absolutely want to address that first and foremost. Now, let's go a little bit further and beyond this. So let's say you're somebody who does address your self-concept. You're somebody who knows your worth and value from within. And this doesn't have to be like perfect 24/7, but it can be your dominant state. So you're somebody who, knows your worth and value, and you feel fulfilled from within, like dominantly, and you're dominantly living from a place of presence, at that point, you are actually seeing the truth of what's in front of you. It's no longer, oh yeah, you're seeing reality through the lens of your self-concept. No, when you're in presence, you're no longer in a program. You go beyond self-concept, you go beyond identity. Now you see everything through the lens of I am, right? So somebody could be in front of you and you can just be seeing that this person is being manipulative, or that this person is trying to impress you. In other words, you see it for what it really is. This person is not being authentic. At this point, it isn't you're paranoid and you're seeing reality as who you are. No. This person's a scammer. This person's an abuser. It is what it is. And without judgment, or even if there is judgment, like as a conscious creator, you know how to shift out of the judgment, but you're seeing reality for what it really is, right? It's no longer coming through the perception of a lens. And from there, you make your choices, right? You can make your choice as to who you want to engage with, what you want to give your attention to, what you want to move away from. Because again, at that point, you're operating from your I am, which is presence. You're operating from a place of truth, from a place of alignment. And of course, you can absolutely change something too. So let's say you're engaging with somebody, right? Let's say it's your boss from work. And your boss from work is really being unkind, okay? And it's not, oh, you're just perceiving it through the lens of like your self-concept. No, like you're operating from a place of presence. You can see that that person is being unkind. Now, you have several choices, right, of how you want to engage with that. But let's say you have a desire to shift that, right? You might have a desire within you to say, you know what, I want to rendezvous with a version of my boss that's actually like really kind and always appreciates me. You can absolutely shift into that reality by changing your story about what is in front of you in this moment, if you desire to. It might be that you don't really care that your boss is unkind. And if so, you just maybe sort of keep your distance from your boss and you only engage with them when you need to. It's going to be so different for everybody. And you can apply this to your specific person too. Let's say that you're engaging with your specific person, but perhaps you notice that in this moment, they are not being authentic. Maybe you see that they are lying. And again, it's not through the lens of your self-concept. No, you're seeing truth in this moment, that this person isn't being authentic. Okay. Now, either you have several choices, right? You can choose to call them out on it. You can choose not to engage in it. And of course, you might have the desire to manifest a version of them that is authentic, that is operating from a place of integrity. And of course, you can absolutely choose that version of reality or choose that version of them by simply changing your story about them. So again, you are the operant power of your reality, and there are so many choices. But this video was really to shine light on what happens when you go beyond self-concept, because sometimes people are gaslighted, right? Sometimes actually somebody is operating from a place of integrity where they know their value and their worth, and actually they are seeing the truth of what's in front of them. But then you might be being gaslighted where somebody's like, oh, well, it's just your perception of reality. My perception of reality is this. No, there's actually the truth. When you're no longer in a program, it is what it is. Murder is murder, abuse is abuse, manipulation is manipulation, it is what it is. Again, we don't want to stay there and focus on it, but you're seeing the truth, and therefore from there you can make decisions. And this is the key thing, right? You can make decisions of what your next move is because you are seeing the truth of what's in front of you. So I hope this video has helped shine some light on why beyond a certain point you're no longer perceiving reality as who you are. You're actually seeing the truth of what's in front of you, and from there you can make some choices as to if you want to change your story, if you want to engage with someone, if you don't want to engage with someone, if you need to move away from somebody, if somebody is not a good person, you can move away from them, you can change your story about it. Completely up to you, but either way you are actually seeing the truth of what is in that moment versus perceiving reality through the lens of your self-concept or perceiving reality as who you are. Nope, there's a step above this where you go beyond identity and you're no longer perceiving reality as who you are. You're perceiving the truth of what is in front of you. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for being here. I love you. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening. Mwah.